This right here is the Sunseeker V3. This is my new best friend for mowing my lawn. It does a great job.
It supports 42% grades, which is 22 degrees.
It's ultra quiet and it even has a windshield wiper. Can you believe that? Yes, it is water resistant, and if it does sense rain, it will windshield wiper its little lenses off there and head back home because you don't want to mow your lawn in the rain. It's also very, very easy to set up. Only 15 minutes and this bad boy was in operation. You got to check out the
Sunseeker V3
Obstacle Avoidance down to centimeter level precision, has GPS, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth. I've been putting it through the paces so far. Hugely impressed.
The Sunseeker V3 robot lawnmower is really good for properties with grass areas up to 0.15 acres. It really is ready to go directly out of the box. It does have an IPX5 rating, so it's good for water resistant, and I love that little built-in windshield wiper. It was a one-click mowing. I literally clicked one button and it started to mow. This was definitely the easiest robot lawnmower I've ever set up because it does use those cameras. It has 3D AI Obstacle Avoidance. It actually recognizes over 160 different obstacles, and it even creates an intelligent boundary. It like recognizes your boundary automatically, so you don't have to even do any type of mapping. You just click it, let it run. It maps out your area using AI and then gets to mowing. It's ready to go.
The mobile app is pretty easy to use once you understand the layout and where the functions are. So to start it, it's as simple as connecting to it via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi and then clicking the start button here. And then it will leave its base station, charging station right there, and do a little bit of a proximity check, just looking around, making sure it knows where it's going, and then it will be off to mow the lawn. You can additionally pause, start. So if I wanted to pause this right here, pretty responsive. Look at that. Start. It's going to beep before it goes, but if you were in a pinch and you needed to stop it really quick, you can click the big red stop button on the Sunseeker itself, or you can click the pause button right here, and again, very responsive to start and stop. You can also return it to home right there, manage your schedule, so you can tell it when you want it to go out and do its mowing. Schedule it whenever you want, because it's just going to go back and recharge and do its thing. So the mobile app is pretty solid. Definitely some features I'd like to see them add in the future, but overall, really impressed with it.
Literally, I was mowing in seconds. I didn't have to mess with any type of wires. There was no base station that I had to really set up. I just plugged in the base station, pressed start, and let the ReadyGo system do all of the work for me. It also has great climbing capacity, conquering grades up to 42% with ease. Had no problem going up any kind of incline that I threw at it. And I also like that it has the floating cut system. It actually effortlessly navigates over uneven terrain. We all have that. Everybody has like uneven terrain areas, and it will actually navigate that and lift up its cutting blades when it needs to go over any kind of bumps or slopes to make sure it gets a perfect cut. Yes, even over the grass. So if you got lumps and bumps in your grass, don't worry about it. The V3 will handle it and adjust its cutting blade height to make sure that it's maintaining the grass height that you assigned. In fact, it has adjustable grass height from 1.57 all the way up to 3.2 inches. So you've got a nice variation there. there. You can set that easily with the dial on the top.
Speaking of precision, let's just take a look at how precisely this grass was cut right through here. It came right through here, and you can see the uncut grass on this side and the cut grass right down here in the middle. It is a beautifully cut precise. Now I have this on the setting number 2. It can go even lower this down to setting number 1 and as high as number 9, depending on what your grass length is, just by rotating the dial under the lid. Now under the lid right here, you can see that it is water resistant, so no problem with your lawn and sprinkler going. You do have some buttons underneath here, so you got a power button, start, home button, and an OK button, and a digital display right here. It's currently, of course, stopped. Don't worry about the flashing, that's just my frame rate, but you do have some controls in here, including locking it and adding a passcode for extra security. If I wanted to start this again, I would just click on start and then OK. This here is your grass height adjustment. You just lift this little lever here and rotate this depending on what height you want your grass at. Currently I'm cutting this grass to number 2. So we're gonna place it right there. And then before we close the lid, this will change. Click start, OK, and then it will start going again just like that. See the tree, it'll stop and go around it. Definitely centimeter level precision in how it mapped your yard.
I also loved how it really just saw the obstacles in the grass. Of course, generally you're not going to have obstacles on grass, but everybody does it. They leave something out there, a ball or a toy or a branch that's too big, and it definitely recognizes those obstacles, knows your environment, including pets or wildlife for that matter. There's a bunny rabbit out there, it's going to see that and go around it and not disturb the bunny rabbit. The other thing I really want to hone in on here is the dual lens camera for that enhanced vision of mowing. It can actually see all those details of your lawn, and then it assures that no area is missed when it's cutting your grass. And I was impressed with how it cut my grass here and got every area. In fact, it's adjusting within 3 seconds. So it has a quick steering system in it that it adjusts within 3 seconds to make sure that if it sees an area that it missed, it uses those dual lens enhanced vision cameras to get every area of your grass cut.
Watch this, this is pretty cool with the
Sunseeker V3.
If we get it wet, it's gonna notice. It's gonna windshield wiper off its little lens. Isn't that cool? Look at that little windshield wiper off its lens. And it's like, I'm done, time to go home. I'm all wet. Speaking of going home, it always follows a counterclockwise direction around. So you really want to place your charging station on the right like it is there, because see how it's just heading home? So if it was over here, for instance, it would go all the way around your yard counterclockwise on the boundary and then go back to the base station to charge right over here. So that's just something to note, that you always want to place your charging base station in that position. If you face it the other way, clockwise, it's not going to find it. It's just going to keep circling your yard.
So those are some of the great features that I love about it, not to mention the auto recharging feature, the smart app controls, which I certainly here was showing you, the app controls, and that IPX5 waterproof rating. So just to kind of break it down here, the cutting width of the V3 has a 7-inch cutting width, which is pretty good. It's not the widest that I've seen in the industry, but it's also not narrow at all. And because it really is just automated, it'll go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth to cut it as much as it needs to. And it was so quiet that it's not going to disturb. In fact, I was able to have a full conversation with somebody right next to it, and the mowing of the V3 did not interrupt that at all. It does take about 100 minutes to get a full charge, and the battery capacity is 2.5 AH battery capacity. It has the built-in Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi, even 4G connectivity options in this mighty V3 robot lawnmower. It uses 12 blades total, and the AI vision system really made it a hands-off experience. You get everything you need in the box, including the charging station, those magnetic tag kits, the charging cable itself, plenty of stakes for taking down the magnetic tag kit, which allows you to set up boundaries or no-go zones. So the Sunseeker V3 really is an advancement in lawn care technology, and I really think that they are going to be revolutionizing a lot of aspects of the robot lawnmower industry with some of their innovation. I just can't believe this thing has so many features, including dual zone mowing, which normally you're going to pay a premium price for dual zone mowing. The V3 robot lawnmower has that all built in. So loving the V3 lawnmower robot from Sunseeker.